Okay, so like something like a year ago, Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative tagged me in the Spring and Sprung book tag. Well, it's spring again. I figured maybe it's about time I get around to it. Coming right up here on Drew's Book Reviews. Alright, it's time for another episode of Drew's Bookish Views and Other Bookish Things video today with the Spring Has Sprung book tag. So as mentioned in the intro, Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative tagged me in this video something like almost a year ago now. I'm finally getting around to it now. I wanted to do it, but then it was summer and fall and winter to figure, you know what, I'll do it next spring, and here we are, so let's talk about it. But of course, before we get into the Spring Has Sprung book tag, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. I post videos every single Friday here on the channel. You can also check out my Discord. That'll be linked below, as well as my Bookstagram and my Patreon, where you can sign up for book giveaways and other perks. So let's take a look at this Spring Has Sprung book tag and see. So the first prompt on the Spring Has Sprung book tag is flowers. All the flowers we remember are blooming again. Pick a book that's a fresh take on a retelling. Well, honestly, I don't really read much in the way of retellings at all. The only book I could really remember that was a retelling of anything was Enchantment by Orson Scott Card. This book is a retelling of the Sleeping Beauty myth. It's been a really super long time since I've read this book, like a long time. That's all I really remember of. It's kind of a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. So that would be the only one I could think of that really fits a retelling of anything. Alright, so Cadbury Mini Eggs. Obviously, the superior springtime candy of choice. Pick a book that you consider to be a sweet treat. Well, I have to say, when it comes to this one, a sweet treat, literally anything Discworld is a sweet treat. I'm reading Discworld book right now, and it's hilarious. Every Discworld book is hilarious. It's fun. It's entertaining. I love the fact that I'm reading a Discworld book every single month. Anything Discworld is a sweet treat as far as I'm concerned. Great books. Hilarious. Fantastic. Great characters, everything about Discworld is awesome. If you're not reading it, read Discworld. I've said that before and I'm going to say it again. Read Discworld. It's a sweet treat. It's awesome. Next prompt, allergies. Seasonal allergies often make your eyes water. Pick a book that made you cry. Well, I'd have to go with The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Caladan's story in his depression and the mental health issues that he had to deal with. So relatable for me, and definitely I would have to say that is a book that made me cry. It really is just a phenomenal series of books. I mean, Sanderson in general is just an awesome writer, but particularly the character of Caladan that I could relate so well to. That is definitely something that I would have to put here as far as a book that made me cry, because his storyline and his depression and what he's had to deal with and the raw feeling that emerged from that and the way it was written, just awesome. Spring cleaning. Out with the old, in with the new. Pick a book to unhaul. This one right here. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Don't read it. Forget it exists. It's horrible. I don't even know why I'm still holding on to it, to be honest. I just don't. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was well written. I don't know why I still have it. I've been meaning to unhaul some books and just haven't got around to it, but that's definitely going to be the first one I unhaul whenever I get around to unhauling stuff. But definitely, yeah, that Saving Jesus book. Don't waste your time on it. It's just not a good book. Spring break. It's the perfect time for an adventure. Pick a book involving a road trip. Well, for this one, I went with The Eye of the World. I mean, let's face it, our characters get up and they're on the road. They are taking quite the trip. So I opted to go with The Eye of the World, with the Edmonds Field 5 and Moraine and Lan and all them, and just, there's your road trip. It's off on an adventure, so to speak. It's a road trip. We don't know where they're going to end up. Well, if you read the series, you know where they're going to end up. But if you haven't read the series, you don't know where they're going to end up, so check it out. Wheel of Time, fantastic book series, by the way. Absolutely love it. Definitely check that out. Mating season. It's that time of year in the animal kingdom to make some babies. Pick a book with some smutty delights. Well, with this one, I had to go with Blind Sympathy by Roberta Bombinato. This one is basically a paranormal romance. And it definitely had some smutty scenes in it. I'm not big into romance, but it was offered as a free book in exchange for a review, so definitely it surprised me. I didn't think that I would enjoy that type of book, but I did actually end up enjoying it. So yeah, so my pick for this one is Blind Sympathy by Roberta Bombinato. Rainbows. I just feel like spring is made of freaking rainbows. Pick a book featuring an LGBTQ characters. For this, I went with the Shadow Campaigns. So this is a whole series, technically not just a single book, but I went with the Shadow Campaigns by Django Wexler. So there are definitely LGBTQ characters within this book series, and definitely overall the series is really good, and one of our main characters does definitely falls within that spectrum within this story, and overall just it's a good read. The Shadow Campaigns, I enjoy it. Deep Demon Magic, if you like that kind of thing, is a book series I would certainly recommend if you like that type of thing. Spring Awakening. This is one of my all-time favorite musicals, even though it's filled with completely dysfunctional characters. Pick a book that's also filled with completely dysfunctional characters. Easy. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Between the depressed android, the crazy Zaphod Beeblebrox, Arthur Dent certainly got his prawns, Ford Previk's a bit of a weirdo as well. Let's face it, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is filled with dysfunctional characters, which is part of what makes it such a hilarious, fun, entertaining read. I mean, if you haven't read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you really need to check that out. It is hilarious. Great read. And 9. In Like a Lion, Out Like a Lamb. Pick a book series that didn't get better as it progressed. I would have to go with the Ender's Game saga for this one. Honestly, loved Ender's Game. The rest of the Enderverse is still decent, at least until we jump back to the prequels of Ender's Game. So all the stuff that came before it was kind of or rather like the Formic Wars, Burning Earth stuff was kind of okay, not great. So the stuff we wrote with Aaron Johnson, just not great, but not terrible. And Ender's Game as a whole was a fantastic book. The rest of the books were still good, but definitely I would say this is a series that did not get better as it progressed. It just kind of stagnated or wasn't nearly as good as Ender's Game. So that's definitely my pick for this one, where it didn't really get any better. And Fun in the Sun, finally, tag some friends. Well, for this one, I wasn't going to tag anybody specifically, just if you want to do this tag, here it is. Do the tag and let me know if you've done the tag, because it would be interesting to see or hear your answers on these prompts as well. The prompts, of course, will be noted in the description down below as well. So there you have it. There is the Spring Has Sprung book tag. Thank you, Leslie, for tagging me in your version of the video. And I'll link the original creator's video down below as well as Leslie's original video. If you haven't subscribed to the Nerdy Narrative, definitely check that out. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, until next time, keep on reading. Bye!